Addictive, that's what it is. I don't know about you. Well, I do know because we both agreed there were two bikes at EICMA that were the sort of standout production bikes.
Yep.
It was the Ducati Panigale V4.
Yep.
And the KTM 790 Duke.
Yep. And you went to both the launches?
I did, yeah.
So go on then, how was it?
You know, there was lots of hype about it, and the one major thing I want to ask the bike itself, because it answers questions.
Does it?
It does answer questions, yes.
Yeah.
Is it, or does it carry that innate Duke sort of motardness rather than super sport, or have they changed it so it's more super sport, kind of super naked, midi super naked?
And what did it say?
It said it's a midi super naked.
Nice.
Yeah. We had a morning on the road and we did about 10 kilometres to a briefing in a hangar, really cool place, where we rode into this hangar right next to our chairs. So we literally put the bikes on the side stand, got off onto our chair. It was just, it was a cool.
And ate food?
No, that was the presentation.
Oh.
We just had breakfast, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And we sort of learned a bit more about the bike then. So we'll start with the basics. Obviously, this is KTM's first ever parallel twin. Although, as I noticed riding away, because of the firing interval and the way the crank's set up, it sounds like a V-twin still. It still sounds like a Duke.
Okay.
Which, whether they've done that to mimic the older bike or keep that in the family, I don't know. But yeah, it was a strange sensation, very much like the Panigale V4.
Yeah,
they made it sound like a twin.
I was going to make that reference.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Do you want to make it again?
Well, a bit like the Panigale V4.
Very much so, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. It's 105 horsepower, 799cc parallel twin.
Okay.
There are forged pistons and a second balancer shaft in the cylinder head to keep things smooth and to handle the sort of top end, because it's quite I think it's 10 something RPM top red line, so it's quite revvy.
Okay.
And it's got WP suspension, non-adjustable.
Yep.
There is Maxxis tyres, which is a bit strange.
A curveball.
But that's obviously to do with KTM's off-road partnership with the brand. And the seat height is 825mm, for those asking, which is not too high. There's a lower seat option, which is 805. And there is a chassis lowering kit, which is 785 for the really vertically challenged amongst us. There's also Spanish-made brakes, so they moved away from Brembo, and KTM have developed these brakes specifically for the bike.
Is that just a cost-saving measure, I would assume?
I'm guessing so, yeah. And talking of cost, the bike is 8,495.
Which is amazingly good value, I think.
It is, when you consider it comes with lean angle sensitive traction control, ABS with the Supermoto ABS, launch control, anti-wheelie, and for the first time, despite rumours, the track pack, it's not really a track pack, the track option, which allows the TC and anti-wheelie to work individually, comes with the bike. So you're not paying any extras. We rode the bikes, they're as standard. They had a few sort of nice power part spits on them, but for the majority of them were standard, and we also rode one with the Okrapovic can.
Nice.
Which looks much nicer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So enough about the tech.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It is, I said in my first impressions on the interwebs, it's basically what it seems like is KTM have given the A-Team a 390 Duke and a 1290 Duke, Super GR.
Okay.
It's gone into a cave, forced the pair to make love.
Okay.
And their offspring is the 790 Duke.
Ready to race, ready to race.
It feels tiny. It feels low. It does feel quite long, but it feels low, very narrow. There's 4 different options for the bars to be positioned, so if you want them closer to you, you can get them closer or further away. But like I said, it's very compact. Everything's there.
I will say straight away, the seat isn't the comfiest. I mean, you look at it and it's not very appealing, much like those cyclist seats. Of course, in track mode you've got the slip function, so you can just up and down by just these buttons on over here, so that's a nice little touch. And something I learned in the presentation there, finally, if you're in track mode and you turn the bike off, it remembers all the settings. Finally. I mean, that little nugget is worth £8.5 grand alone. Maybe not, but you get my drift. I suppose now's a good time to talk about everyday urban vibes, and of course with the twin, with the V-twin, you get that inherently lumpy bottom end. I mean, I'm at £2 grand now, a constant throttle, and it's not shattering or clunking its bollocks off.
And you notice really there's a real distinctive spike at £7 grand, and it goes, hello.
This puppy wants to play.
This puppy wants to play, and play it did. It's you know, a lot of people were pinning the bike against the Street Triple for obvious reasons. It's the same price, or you know, within the price bracket. You know, it's got a 7 in it.
Yeah.
765, 790. It's not as dynamically fast as a Street Triple, and you can tell that in a straight line.
Yeah. It's more fun.
It's way more fun.
And that's what the Dukes have all been about, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the 1290 is monster power, but
Yeah.
it's still about fun.
Yes.
Does it have the character?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's still got that sort of roughness and agricultureness of a KTM,
Yeah.
but in a good way. I was never wanting more power. You know, you hard on the gas through the quick shifter, and of course the blipper, which are both very, very good.
As standard.
As standard, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But you're hard on the gas, and you can the front wheel doesn't come up and slap you in the face, but it just comes up nicely, and the front gets a bit light, and it doesn't feel like you want any more from that engine. So.
A lot of ride-by-wire bikes suffer from a sort of lack of a bit of disconnect from the throttle to the rear wheel, and a sort of delay and a little. What's it like?
It is. So we set off in street mode because obviously you've got street, sport, and track. I'm right. Give me the power. Give me full power. Give me everything.
Yeah.
You know, but they told us in the presentation that the sport throttle is almost 1-to-1. And when I changed to it, it is Larry. It's proper Larry. It's not like an MV where you go over a bump and it goes and jump.
Yeah.
But every throttle incrementation equals another step of power. In the urban stuff, we were just sort of putting it through town, you couldn't control it. It was so responsive. So for the first time ever, I think, I've gone, right, okay, let's just calm things down, wind your neck in, mate. Wind your neck in, and went down to the street throttle, which is much softer, and you still get the fun.
Which for a change is actually, like, so many bikes, all the modes, it's like, it doesn't really do anything. You're changing 5% of it, and it's like, well, so it's actually quite nice that you can actually notice a difference.
Yeah.
The real nice balance of power and control. The front sort of doesn't lift unless there's a crest. There's enough to keep it exciting. It's definitely not a street triple in terms of straight line, but it weighs less, so of course it's going to feel more dynamic in certain areas. I can see why they call it the scalpel. So agile, but it maintains composure and stability at the same time. Ooh. There's somehow the motard agility and flickability, and they've injected some proper sporty naked bike in there as well. Forget the MT-07, there's lots of questions whether or not you should place it against an MT-07 or an MT-09. MT-07 doesn't even belong in the same sentence. MT-09, yes, but the suspension and its sort of mid-corner poise I think it's a step up. It's a really nice run of power, actually. You know, most of it is at the top end, yes. There's still plenty of punch at the bottom, plenty of grunt to get you out of a corner. But you want to be in this magical bit. Second gear, 6-7 grand, for that instant rush. I kind of love the way everything's just there, everything's at hand. Feels so tight and compact.
The thing that KTM wanted was the most compact, agile bike. They kept banging on about its agility. This is by far the most agile
and compact bike.
And compact naked bike. It is what it is. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no escaping that. It is the Street Triple may be more focused and faster in a straight line, but this is way more agile. On the roads we were on, it would have absolutely chewed the Street Triple.
Really?
Just the way it flicks left and right. It's not unstable, but the way I don't know how they've done it. You could say it sits in between the Street Triple and the Yamaha MT-09 in terms of where it's positioned dynamically. The Street Triples are like a super sport bike. The MT-09 is more of a motard, sort of upright, naked bike. The KTM is bang in the middle. And it does feel really at home on the side of the tyre. You know, you're not...
Yeah, confidence.
Yeah. And
good.
I think it's the thing for me was, obviously, the roads around Gran Canaria are stunning. You know, nothing like we have in England.
No.
But it's the way you can sniff out grip. You can feel when there was a bad section of tarmac or there was a bit of a damp. You know, the feedback through those bars that the chassis exudes. That is
which is quite impressive over completely non-adjustable suspension.
Exactly. And there's not one time I wanted to go, you know what? I want some fully
less
adjustable
dive or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want that at all. The one thing that we really struggled with on the road, and I wasn't the only one, was the brakes.
Okay.
They're not bad, far from it.
But they're not up to KTM's normal Brembo quality.
This is the thing, the Brembo M50s on the old Duke, and even they had one side, they had single disc one side, the Brembo M50s were just amazing. Now, they're good, but you really need to grab some lever. And I think a lot of us wanted to miniature bike because the roads and the way it was, you're suddenly coming up and going, ooh, I want some more, give me some more power.
And what about, so Maxxis is a bit of an odd tyre choice. Compliment the bike?
I'll tell you what, I was sceptical riding it. You know, I've had some bad experiences on Maxxis tyres. But these new tyres, I mean, they chucked so much effort and so many different compounds at the test riders just to get it right. And I didn't go, I want some new tyres on this because this bike deserves better. They are genuinely very, very good.
Potentially a lot of people will be put off by the fact there's no adjustable suspension, and I think, you know, for an 8.5 grand bike, it's a little bit cheap, if I'm honest. That said, would I want to change anything at the moment? Absolutely no. You know, 15 stone of British beef stuck on this saddle, I wouldn't want to change a thing. Yeah, it's definitely on the sporty side suspension. Still well damped, but it's not designed for comfort. It's choppy as fuck, but it still manages to keep a check on things around these corners. It's not like you're gritting your teeth, tipping it in and hoping for the best. Oh, what a weapon. So much fun. The perfect blend of power and balance and control. Yeah, you're not fighting it, you're just pinning it. I was kind of treating the tyres with trepidation initially because, you know, Maxxis aren't renowned for their confidence inspiring stickiness and outright performance, but they are pretty good, I've got to say. I mean, obviously it helps that it's 20 degrees and I think this bike flatters them a bit, but there's lots of mechanical grip. Oh, roughing hell. This is the words cannot put this stretch of road in justice. Nor can the camera footage. It is rough as fuck. It's really easy to feel the grip for this chassis. Don't know what it is. Whether it's because rocks. Whether it's because the engine is now a stressed member of the chassis for the first time in a KTM, or I don't know what it is, but there's so much feedback, feeling for grip and sniffing out surface is nice. Let's not forget that KTM made the RC8R, which arguably could be one of the best chassis ever made. I mean, it had an absolute agricultural tractor and motor in, underpowered, and a gearbox made of cheese, but that chassis was incredible. You could not fault it.
To finish the road ride off, and we went to Maspalomas circuit, which is like the Phillip Island of Gran Canaria.
Okay. Yeah.
And we did so we had 3 sessions on track, which was so much fun. But that's the one area that you go, I want some new suspension.
Okay.
The WP was a bit bouncy. You know, when you go in chicane, you go flick left, flick right. It was just going ding, bouncing back up and slapping me in the chin.
Right.
In my chins.
Yeah,
sorry.
which one?
Yeah.
Here we go then, a lap of Las Palomas. Horrible bumpy bit here. Tight left, the bike goes light over the crest there. Second, third, fourth, hard on the brakes. Bike feels good for here. Plenty of ground clearance. Stable under the brakes. Lovely gear changes. Skim that curb. This is where you can tell the non-adjustable suspension flicking through here. Feels a bit saggy maggy.
But I can't not mention my little victory.
The Gymkhana.
The Gymkhana.
I heard about this.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there was probably 40 journalists or something. So Jeremy Williams was there as obviously a KTM ambassador, test rider, and he set up this Gymkhana in the letters or the numbers of a 7. So you had to ride the 7, then around a 9, then around a 0.
Okay.
And I set the fastest time of the day.
So this is Gymkhana, or the Dukekhana, and we're doing a 790. Fucking P1 it. Fucking P1.
So obviously from when it was first, the prototype came out. There's a few disappointed people on the internet.
I was.
I think everyone was. I'm one of them as well, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it does look quite different to how it looked in the EICMA 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably one of the main things to get over. In the flesh, is it still a little bit of a?
Obviously, there's no way you can escape that Scalper prototype. It was the bike of the show.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Everyone loved it. And of course, I think KTM are sort of guilty of...
over-promising a bit.
Not over-promising, I think they're guilty of their own success in many ways, because they build something like that and go, right, there we are, public, have some of that.
Yeah.
And they go, well, actually, we can't build it because we need a number plate on it, and we can't have the exhaust up there.
Yeah.
And we can't make the sharp lines. And there's obviously there's a lot of reasons and legal ramifications as to why that bike can't be built for the road.
Yeah.
But it's still, I think it's a good looking bike. I think it's a good looking bike, but you're not going to please everyone.
Obviously, $8,500. From what you've said and what I've seen and the other people talking about it, it seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I think the two aspects of braking and suspension could be dealt with, but that means we could see a Duke car. But yeah, I agree.
That's true.
It is good value for money. When you look at the rest of its rivals, it's very good value for money.
Would you buy one if that was your middleweight target, or would you go?
Before I would have said street triple.
Yeah.
But the smiles per hour factor is big. It's big. It's a big winner. And although it probably couldn't ever be my own bike, I'd have the KTM. Whereas the Triumph, that could be your only bike and you could do everything on it. But for £8,500 of those 3 bikes, I'd take the KTM. Cracker lacking.
So there's that lovely front end bias that lets you tip into a corner. On roads like this, the 790 Duke will absolutely chew the Street Triple. The Street Triple's far more sporty on a track and as the roads open up, but on tight stuff like this, it's not a match on it. On the 790's agility, the flickability, and of course that punch as well. There's so much punch. Naughty. Perfect blend of power. It doesn't lift, but the front end goes light. Plenty of grunt, but it still wants to be near the red line. And what a rush.